Reach deep inside for the surprise. You'll find what you're looking for. Reach deep inside for the surprise. You'll find what you're looking for. You'll never need to cry. You never will die. 'Cause baby, you're the surprise. You'll never need to cry. You never will die. 'Cause baby, you're the surprise. You're a miracle of love. You're a miracle of love. You're everlasting love. You're a miracle of love. You're a miracle of love. You're everlasting love. Reach deep inside for the surprise. You'll find what you're looking for. Reach deep inside for the surprise. You'll find what you're looking for. You're a miracle of love. A miracle of love. It's what you've been looking for. You're a miracle of love. You're a miracle of love. It's what you've been looking for. You'll never need to cry. You never will die. 'Cause baby, you're the surprise. You'll never need to cry. You never will die. 'Cause baby, you're the surprise. You're a miracle of love. You're a miracle of love. You're everlasting love. You're a miracle of love. You're a miracle of love. You're everlasting love. You're a miracle of love. A miracle of love. You're everlasting love. You're the surprise. Hello. Good morning, Brooke. Good morning. You're a miracle of love. Good morning, Amy. And happy belated birthday. I was thinking of you a lot yesterday, but I'm thinking of you even more now. The happiest hour of this week is here. Oh, yeah. Well, really, quite frankly, every stream is a Gita stream. And every Gita stream is a love stream. You know, so every day of the week, we have our sobriety meeting. Oh, I don't think we can live without our 7 days a week meetings. Do you? Well, I'm talking to the choir here. So thank you for jumping on the Gita stream this morning. It's always the bomb. It's always the bomb. We are going to end verse 1 today. But you know, this isn't, you know, to at the end of chapter 1, Arjuna gives up the fight. We're verse 1. We're just doing the first bit of introspection about what we're up to. And then at the end of the first chapter, after all these things that go on in this first chapter, Arjuna, the devotee, you and me, at our third chakra, gives up the fight. Don't worry, the rest of the chapters in the book, the 17 chapters, they're all filled with the keys to the kingdom. Okay, they're filled with the wisdom on how you and I can awaken the Arjuna within us and stay awake and be absolutely impeccably in tune with that soul nature of us, the Krishna nature within us, the Christ nature, and win our freedom back. But boy, it's going to take, you know, everyday meetings. Serious meetings. They get more and more serious as the days go by for me. Good morning, Joel. You know, no, listen, vice versa. Ditto, Joel, ditto. And we have found a few good men and a few good women here, and here comes another one. Look at you four. The magnificent four. Come on, Arjuna warriors, exactly the point. I take off my hat to you all, really, honestly. It's taking all four of us to tango. And we're going to do this thing. We are doing this thing. We are winning this thing, even though it might seem like, hey, today's Lionsgate. Are you ready to go through the lion's gate into the kingdom of joy? I know, right? So even though it might seem like, maybe even going backwards at times, even though it might feel you're being more tempted than you've ever been tempted, right? Even though it might feel like there's no way for you to hold on. Well, that's exactly the Arjuna warrior. Somehow, in some way, because we have our first and our eighth steps, which is just this fire of bliss, this first love, this from joy I came, in joy I live, and in sacred joy I'll melt again. And we just hold that as our first love, and we love that with all our heart, minds, strength, and soul, even though it doesn't feel like we can do that. And we just burn. It's like the first three steps of AA, where you acknowledge you're helpless, then you have to turn to your higher power, then you hand your life over. Well, that's our first and our eighth step, if we combine them. And it's just like we just throw ourselves into the flames. That's it. That's our very first thing we do. It's just like throw yourself into the flames of joy, of spirit. God is with you. You are with God. You'll see in our first section here. That's what it says. And anyway, so there it is. There's how we go. But boy, it's going to get interesting from here, I'll tell you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It makes my joy. It makes my day. My day and my joy are the one and the same thing. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm in tip-top high peaking over the top joy. It means that is my unconditional resolve to focus on that, right? Because here's where we left off last week. Remember when we were just talking about the Superman for the last 3 movies? We had Superman 3, and then Yogananda says that Superman cognizes all past and future, but lives in the eternal present. For him, I love this line, for him and her, the conundrum of the why of being, the why of being is resolved in the singular realization, from joy we have come. In joy we live and move and have our being. And in that sacred perennial joy, we melt again. That's the why. Why do this? Why do anything? Why try to become something better in life? Why? It's because we have come from joy, and joy we live in, and sacred joy we melt again. So here's where we start for today. This is self-realization. See, this is our first step. This is our first and our eighth step. We just like bookends, we just from the samadhi bliss all the way to our root chakra, we're just surrounded by the flames of the immortal truth of from joy we came, in joy we live, in sacred joy we melt again. Those are our bookends. Those are our first. That's our first love. That's our first step. Right? And the flames, the immortal flames of bliss that we just throw ourselves into. This is self-realization. Man and woman's native state as the soul. This is self-realization, our native state as a soul, the pure reflection of spirit. Dreams of incarnations play on the delusive screen of individuality. Dreams of incarnations play on the delusive screen of individuality. But in reality, never, oh, Lisa's going to like this one. Oh, Jolene's going to like this one. Amy's going to like this, and Brooke's going to like this quote. So we have dreams of incarnations that play on a delusive screen. We don't have a clue what's going on, and we're suffering. And then it's that dream suffering pain, which is as real as it can seem to be, right? Of individuality. But in reality, never for a moment is man or woman separate from God. Never, ever, for a moment are you and me ever separate from God. Never for a moment are you and me ever separate from God. We are his thought. He is our being. God's thinking us, right? We're in the divine consciousness. We live in the consciousness of the cosmic consciousness. We are the cosmic consciousness. So we are his thought, and he is our being. So this sometimes frumpy, this sometimes resentful, this sometimes stubborn, this sometimes I'm going to do it anyway. That's fine with the beloved. I know that's all part of the battle. That's all part of why any kind of good superhero movie has really, really a mean super villain, man and woman. Wow. And we're not going to get out of here just kind of cruising through the steps. No, we hang on to those with both hands, as we mentioned, and the hands are bloodied from holding on to them. We're not just going to be able to cruise through this, kids. This is a bloody war. And you will see as we get into chapter 2, maybe just to mention it today, and then, I mean, not chapter 2, verse 2. All right? We are his thought. He is our being. From him we have come. In him we are to live as expressions of his wisdom. So we have come from joy. And now in that joy, in that consciousness, in spirit, in God, in our soul, in the light, in the love, we are to live as expressions of that, as expressions of that, as clear light and love houses of that. Into battle we charge, says Jamie. Oh, I'm so glad, Jamie boy, that you are here on this love line. Woo! I think I'll talk to you separate. I'll send you a note separate. But yes, in the battle we charge to live as expressions of this ever new joy, of the divine wisdom, of his love and his joy. In him, in God, our egoity must melt again. In the realization, in the self-realization, our egoity must melt again. In the ever wakeful dreamlessness, in the ever wakeful dreamlessness of eternal bliss. All right. So that wraps up Yogananda's commentary of the verse, but now he just sums up that first verse, okay? Thus has been described the metaphorical significance of the battle of Kurukshetra and the victorious goal to be won. In all of that, 45 or 48 pages of describing and helping us understand the significance of this first verse, of asking that impartial introspection within Arjuna, within that devotee within us called Arjuna. How are we doing? Really? Good habits or bad habits? Staying true to my word or not? Doubting or having faith? All right? Every person is confronted with this same challenge. Every person is confronted with the same challenge. The timeless popularity of the Gita lies in its universality as a divine textbook for living. See, this is a divine textbook for living. It just isn't a human textbook for living the way you want to satisfy the cravings, you know, the sensory things and all your little pet fetishes. It's not that kind of a textbook. It's a divine textbook for practical living, applicable to all people. It enlightens every plane of existence. See, you take care of your soul, baby. You take care of every other level of you. You take care of first things first, everything else taken care of. This is why we dive right into the heart of the matter. We stay there and we build our 8-step program around the heart of the matter, which is to stay like this, like this. Like this with the divine beloved of all that is. Like, you know, all of us in one big huddle up and we're all wrapped up in divine mother's bear hug. We're all wrapped up in divine mother's bear hug. And we'll never, ever leave her hug. Never, ever. We'll never, ever leave her hug. The chorus, never ever, will never ever leave her hug, never ever. The material person will know inner peace. And we can say we're the material person because we live in a material world. We will know inner peace and happiness only if we side with goodness and win the battle between the good and evil inclinations. So first, we are learning in our steps. This is why we can't live without our steps, because they tune us in with the goodness. They help us to remember the goodness, because when the lights go out, baby, it's dark. You don't remember goodness. All you have is a sense craving. All you know is that you have a habit, but you don't even admit it's a habit, of just lifetimes of doing one repeated action, and it's just got you absolutely compulsed to do it again. That's all you know, at the sake of what? Maybe betraying a relationship, letting yourself down again, and on and on and on. You're still going to do it, right? So first of all, we have to side with the goodness. We have to side with, non-negotiable 8-step program that we are in, and win the battle between the good and evil incarnations that guide our actions on the external bodily field of action, or Kurukshetra, outward, on the periphery of the body, meaning mostly our senses and our sensations and those 10 sense estate, the 10 princes, either noble or ignoble, right? Either we're going to have self-control or not, right? All right. Then the spiritual aspirant. The spiritual aspirant. Never ever. The spiritual aspirant of any true religious path. He's not saying the yogic path, of any true religious path must, in addition to what we just said, tuning in with the good and having victory with the good over the evil inclinations, we must also win the victory on the inner field, the inner now. The first Kurukshetra means on the bodily field, on the bodily battlefield. Right? Now, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, means the victory on the inner field, or the subtle cerebrospinal centers where the interiorization of God communion takes place. Parens, in deep prayer, in meditation, and in practicing the presence of God during daily activities. These are the big boys. These must be in place in our life. These are what we strive to put in place in our life. These are our anchors. These are our 8 steps of interior, internal, what we do on our own of soul awakening. These are non-negotiables: deep prayer, meditation, and practicing the presence of God during daily activities. Defeating the opposition of mental restlessness and sense attractions. So the first battle, the Kurukshetra, is we are battling those sense addictions. We are battling those on the surface of the skin. The second one, we are dealing more on that mental level with the restlessness for those sense experiences, which are now sense attractions. So we go into meditation to see if we can sever that astral component, or not sever it, but to get into the deeper, pure essence of the 5 senses, which are the heightened clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. Yes, and then and have pure sensations which lead to pure pleasures, soul pleasures. The yogi, or that person who seeks the ultimate goal of self-realization and kaivalya, liberation. So there's a third battle. All right? On the surface, underneath the surface for meditation, practicing the presence throughout the day. And thirdly, for our liberation, which leads us in the battle of the righteous warriors of self-control and moral behavior on the Kurukshetra plane of material action. That was the first one. We fight for the victory of interiorized God communion on the inner spiritual plane of Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, the second one, and further on the field of pure Dharma Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra is our Dharma, is our soul's Dharma to return to the oneness with spirit, or spiritualized consciousness. We strive to maintain against the pull of the lower ego nature of body consciousness. Here's the Superman, Superwoman. But we just spent, 3 sessions on. So now we are going for that super consciousness, Christ consciousness, and cosmic consciousness of the Superman and the superhero attained by successful yoga meditation. So there's our 3 battles, kids. There's our 3 battles. So the vastness of the import of the first stanza of the Bhagavad Gita is glimpsed when we thus see how it is to be applied in practical experience. So the vastness of the import of the first stanza of the Bhagavad Gita. The first stanza, this is why we were weeks on the first verse, why Yogananda was 48 pages on the first verse, because it is the vastness of the import of that first stanza is glimpsed when we see how it needs to be applied in practical experience. As you and I sit, as you and I stand, as we pull out our swords today, as we walk as best we can with the beloved in our heart, right? As we act from this place of, from the wisdom of our practical awareness of the 8 steps, how we can go about and live this day winning more battles rather than losing them, and then having that impartial introspection awareness as the Arjuna devotee within yourself. How am I doing throughout this day? How am I doing? How am I doing? Which side is uppermost in me right now? So we have that awareness, which is the pillar of yoga, right? Awareness is the pillar of yoga. So God, through Krishna or the soul, talks to Arjuna. The creator of all that is, through Krishna, through our soul, talks to you and me, the devotee Arjuna. And this is what that creator, spirit, creator Lord is saying. Oh, Arjuna. Now, Yogananda usually talks about nightly introspection. I'm not worth much at night, so my introspection's got to happen sometime during the daylight hours or the very early part of the evening. But later on, I'm no good for nothing. So I like to say each day, actually, ultimately, each moment, ask your impartial introspection. Sanjaya, it's called. Sanjaya. You're impartial. That is kind of like the witness of you. That is like the soul observer, the soul witness, the impartial bliss watcher of everything about your material existence. Ask that impartial introspection, Sanjaya, to reveal to your blind mind, to reveal to our blindness, to reveal to our, that egoity, to that, still I'm going to do these things. Still I'm just torn, I'm just ripped by this desire to go out and do these things that are not necessarily on the good side of me, on the righteous side, into with the universal principle side of me, right? They call the blind mind the Dhritarashtra, all right? So we want to ask that part of us, that bliss watcher witness, Sanjaya, to reveal to our ignorance, okay, to our ignorance, to that side that's going to put up a hell of a fight. And wait till you see the fight that gets put up when we go to verse 2, right at the get-go. All we really need is this verse 1 and verse 2. I mean, most people won't even get to verse 1. Because they're not even going to engage in this, which is what we'll read about in this verse 2, that those are mostly the worldly people have just so numbed out and shut down their possibility of any kind of more refined awareness of something other than the gross sensory pleasures and the egotistical way of living this existence. Yogananda will go on to say that is not existence. Oh man, we are really in for something next week. We are really now in. But look, it's taken us 6 months to get here, right? But listen, we know our 8 steps. We've gone through the 8 steps. We have built quite a camaraderie. We are battle scarred. We are loyal. You know, we're still on the front lines. But now it really begins. But that is always the battle cry of an Arjuna awakening. Now it has begun. Now it has begun. Now it has begun. That will always be the case. If you constantly review during the day, then you'll be good at night. No, right? Yeah. No, if you take care of the day, of the moments in the day, you're fine at night, right? You can really just chill from the day with a smile on your face and hope in your heart and love maybe, and just saying, you know what? I gave it my all today. I gave it my all today. There's no better feeling than to play full out. Like every day is a Super Bowl, baby. Every day is an Olympic, it's gold medal final. All right? Every day is that. We forget that, right? We think there's some destination. No, this is an everlasting, day by day, moment by moment journey. Welcome to the battle of the Bhagavad Gita, my friends. Woo! Yeah, then you'll be good tonight. We've been in it quite 7 months already. I know, right? And it's just now begun. So you want to ask that impartial, intuitive soul nature, watcher, witness, Sanjaya of yours to reveal to your blind mind this. This is what you're asking that blind mind. So that it's not blind. The impulsive mental, the impulsive. Humans are very impulsive. Mental and sense tendencies. And the self-disciplined offspring of the soul's discrimination, assembled on the bodily field of sensory activities and spiritual activities. Remember Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? We are bipolar at its very extreme. We are divine and we are human. We are a divine animal, as Yogananda says. So, looking at both sides, eager for psychological battle, what did they do? So there was our first verse. What did they do? What did they do today? All right? Because we're reviewing the situation. We're reviewing the situation, right? Tell all my future devotees to keep each night, each day, every moment, like you, Arjuna, a mental vigil diary. A vigil. We're the vigilante now. We're self-aware now. A mental vigil diary in order to access your daily inner battles. In order to access from a place of Sanjaya, more of an introspective watcher, witness, soul observer of this conundrum called life, man. The daily battles, and thereby to better resist the forces of the blind mental impulses. Better to resist. You got to know the enemy if we're going to outwit the enemy and overcome the enemy. The forces of the blind. They're blind. So they're blind. So you don't even know that you got it. You're blind. Mental impulses, and to support the soldiers of discerning wisdom. We're waking up our soldiers of discerning wisdom, aren't we? Aren't we? I'll let it all, especially the struggles at God's feet, and say, you made me. I'm doing my part and trust you're doing yours. 25% my efforts, 25. Oh, that's interesting that you bring this 25%. I know Yogananda says this, Jamie. 25% my efforts, 25% Guru's grace, and 50% grace of God. But you know, I was walking with that in my heart, meditating on that yesterday, and I don't disagree ever with Yogananda, but on this one, it's not that I disagreed. I said, well, sir, where I sit, it's 100% yours and God's grace. So I don't quote that anymore. I just say it's 100%. 25% of my efforts, really. I get what he's saying. We got to put it all on the table. But putting it all on the table is still God's grace. For me to put 100% into my 25% is still God's grace to have me do that. Okay, just keep doing the Son and let him guide the path as you see. I agree. 100% the grace of God. Yeah, amen. All right. So we're supporting our soldiers of discernment now. Yay! We're helping them wake up. Well, they're awake, but we're asleep. So we're trying to wake up. So we see that they're right here, always ready to fight. Our soul is ever awake. It doesn't sleep. All right. And the soul soldiers of many lives and all our good habits are ready to do this battle. All right. You're going to learn all about them. Each worldly person, moralist, spiritual aspirant, and yogi. So we're talking again, this universal Bhagavad Gita for every person, for every religion, for everything. Whether you're a worldly person, a moralist, a spiritual aspirant, or a yogi. Like a devotee, but he likes to say in this commentary, the devotee though, the Arjuna devotee, the ideal devotee. The ideal devotee, the devotee, unto pure devotion devote yourself. The devotee of love, the devotee of happiness, the devotee of light. Hey, you know what? We haven't seen Mickey Light for a while here. So, I'm telling you, these our 8 steps, our sobriety weekly meetings, 7 days a week. We're gonna have to tighten up on that, kids. Honestly, I mean, you guys are on every time, unless something you just can't be on. But you're going to see that that is our 100% amazing grace. That daily meeting. I'm convinced of that. If I did have an alcoholic problem in this life, I'd be going to a daily meeting. Like Babananda, Bob, he goes to his meetings regularly, and he's been sober for years now. All right? No, and we want to wake up from this blindness, this blind mind stuff, and wait till you see about the drona, our samskaras, our sense tendencies, and compulsions and propensities. There's 100 of them. All right. We want to really get clear of that. We want to go for winning the 3 battles of the moral victory over the bodily kingdom. We want to get into the interior kingdom of meditation and get over the mental restlessness and sensory attraction, so we can have some deep interiorized God-aware meditation. Walk with God, talk with God, practice the presence throughout the day, and then go for that Superman, go for the Superwoman, go for broke, kaivalya, liberation, samadhi, right? A jivan mukta, a free soul. Yes, all of the above, because it's all the same. See, one little thing, one little way, if you only pick one little way, you can't just pick one little way. I understand it. And yes, we can focus on this little baby step. Totally get that. But the baby step is one with the cosmic part, right? The wave is still the ocean, baby. The bubble on the ocean is still the ocean. All right. So we must, like the devotee, we must, every person, every night before retiring, every day throughout the battles of every day, when you get home, when you start the day, because we're saying now this first verse is for every moment, all right? We must ask our intuition whether our spiritual faculties or our physical inclinations of temptations won the day's battle between good and bad habits. So here we go. Line it up. If you drew a column, and you guys went to page 48 here, and you drew a column and say, the Pandavas, the Kurus, the good qualities, the soul qualities, the sense inclinations, the sense tendencies, right? Then you draw a column. And then here you go. And this is just a little idea of this first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, because we're going to look at all these different, in detail, to the enemies and to the soul soldiers in detail. Who are they? What do they do? Why are they the enemy and why are they the good guy, right? Those parts of us. But you draw that line, and here is the battle: good and bad. Self-control versus sense weakness. Da da da. So here they are. Line it up, baby. Right here. So every day, every moment, every night, we need to ask whether our spiritual soul qualities or our sensory inclinations of temptation is winning or has won or is going to continue to win or lose this battle between good and bad habits, between temperance or moderation, and greed. So you have that underneath. Now you're doing your list. Self-control for the soul qualities versus lust. Honest desire for necessary money or inordinate craving for gold. Between forgiveness, soul qualities, and anger. Between joy and grief. Between moroseness and pleasantness. Between kindness and cruelty. Between selfishness and unselfishness. Between understanding and jealousy. Between bravery and cowardice. Between confidence and fear. Between faith and doubt. Between humbleness and pride. Between desire to commune with God in meditation and the restless urge for worldly activities. Between spiritual and material desires. Between divine ecstasy or sensory perceptions. Between soul consciousness and egoity. So there is quite the lineup, right? Now, if you look at just on the good side, so you have good habits, temperance, self-control, honest desire for necessary money, forgiveness, joy, pleasantness, kindness, unselfishness, understanding, bravery, confidence, faith, humbleness, desire to commune with God in meditation, spiritual desires, divine ecstasy, and soul consciousness. On the other side, if you're just going down that list, you're going to have bad habits, greed, lust, inordinate craving for gold or for money, anger, grief, moroseness, cruelty, selfishness, jealousy, cowardice, fear, doubt, pride, restless urge for worldly activities, restless urge for worldly activities, material desires, sensory perceptions, and egoity. Good job, noble warriors of the light. Good job, Mushin warriors. Do you know our fifth attunement with those Mushin masters? They are like, to me, like in the Lord of the Rings, when it looked like everything was lost. I think it was the third book, the third movie. Everything was lost. And that hero went into that dark mountain, where the dead kings were, and he woke them up. And it looked pretty touchy right there, because he could have been pulverized on the spot. But they eventually came and won the battle. This is our fifth step, our fifth attunement. We call on the dead masters. We call on the so-called dead masters. They will come to your rescue, as do all 8 attunements, right? All 8 attunements were 100% calling on that amazing grace. So don't forget the power of the dead masters, all right? The dead kings, the Mushin masters at our fifth attunement. You call on them, because they're going to help you give up the ghost. They're going to help you give up the ghost Christmas past and Christmas future, right? They're going to help you to forget all those things that are haunting you and have haunted you down through the corridor and of incarnations and the labyrinthian dishonesty of your own mind, and this running and hiding and lying and cheating and all those things. They will come to the rescue, and that's just our fifth attunement. All right. So thank you for practicing your steps. Thank you for upping the ante with all of this, because every moment that you gain some spiritual ground, you're going to need to up the ante of your focus on what you're doing, not just get complacent about it, not just let down your guard for a moment because you just raised the bar. All of a sudden now, you're going to see what happens in this verse 2. As soon as you keep making a stand like you're doing, if you find that things are, you thought, well, man, I've been studying this now for 7 months, I've been this and that, but man, it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. Of course not. It's never going to get easier. It's just going to get simpler. But it ain't going to get easier. Look at any hero's journey. Look at any good movie, good guys and the bad guys. Those bad guys are relentless. They don't go away. It's a struggle to the end. And how many of the movies like Mission Impossible and what's Tom Cruise movies and any of those movies where the good guy is, and the James Bond movie, they're in dire straits. There's no way they can recover from it. All right. And this is why we have a great, great need right now for our 8-step program. Even if we need to have 7, so now our Wednesday night Zoom stream, it's a sobriety meeting, okay? We got to get more of you on there for Wednesday night stream. We all got to show up for, now it's going to be a sobriety meeting now, because those 8 steps are our practical application of the battles of daily life, which we know are 3. How's it going on the surface of your skin? How's it going with your meditation practice and remembrance of God throughout the day? And how's it going with your supreme desire to really be a superhero? And win it all. Every moment I practice the presence of God brings me closer to the presence of God. Exactly. Every moment that we surrender, we have Divine Mother with us, right? But my mother's bear hug. Every moment that we decide to be happy, even though it's been the most morose day and the saddest day of our incarnations, every time we do that, we're closer to the Father Joy, to the Heavenly Father. Every moment that we decide to really go for a positive thought, even though we are in a very negative state because of the gloom and doom of those conditioning over lifetimes, we go for some XPF, extreme positive focus. Every time we do that, the light goes on, baby. Every time we will to love when we don't have any energy in our body, but we still will to love. We still love blast. We call on Krishna, every moment. So Bob, you're right on. When I practice the 5th attunement, I love to visualize that I'm living in the inner worlds with the man in the golden light. Yeah, exactly. There you're in the inner worlds, inside that mountain. They're dead to this world, so to speak, but really we know they're more alive and active than ever before, but they're just invisible. They're like the invisible dead kings, man. Right? That's beautiful, Lisa. Joel, think not the way to heaven's gate is difficult at all. We have done the dark side. We are tracked to light today where we are returning home. Think not the way to heaven's gate is difficult. We have done the dark side. We are attracted to the light. Well, if we stay attracted to the light, it's grace and ease. That's the simple path. It may not be easy, because where there is light, and you're going to see right now, where there is light, there is a great shadow as well. So we are just more fierce. We are more fiercely, like the moth, attracted to the light. We go right into that light, baby. And it sears, and it takes away all of the cravings to even consider, to even look back at the enemy, to look into what we have just been trying to overcome in our life. We don't want to even waste a moment doing that. We don't look back. We are just like Joel's saying, right into the light we go. One step leads to another. Woo, you guys are power packed. Are you ready? Are you ready to actually go to verse 2? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Now remember, come on for a sobriety meeting, because the one we had physically at the soul off the charts, but we really need to work towards a daily sobriety meeting. Together, we all need to get together. And I know my streams are that. Really, the Facebook streams are that. They really are that. They really are that. And I know they're right there, just taking that place of that sobriety meeting. So we do have 7 meetings. I wrote a woman yesterday, and Amy, you met her on Friday night, Carolyn, she's 7 days, 8 days sober now. And she came to our sobriety meeting on Friday night. And I should show you the letter. Ask me and I'll send you guys the letter that she wrote me after Friday night sobriety meeting, right? It was her first Saturday after that Friday night that she wasn't hungover. And I don't know how long that's been, that she wasn't hungover. And she's feeling it. Anyway, I wrote her and I said, you know, I have this divine love camp from our stream yesterday, this divine love boot camp. 7 days a week training. She wrote me back, said, I'm really interested in that. Okay. Yeah. Would it be possible, simple list of the 8-step affirmations like AA as a list of 12? I have that posted. Yeah. And an 8-step DA list would be awesome. We could share it with others. Of course we can do that. Of course we can do that. And you can help me with that. Don't just put it on my lap. Start thinking of what you make them up for yourself in the meantime, Aim. And we all can maybe do that. But don't go putting it on my shoulders. Tom, could you give us the 8-step affirmation? Yes, certainly I'll do that. Right? Certainly I'll do that. But don't wait. Start making your own, baby. Put in practice what you can. We're the laser beams to the infinite. Woo! Look at Lisa. Laser beams to the infinite. Well, that's my sis. Go get him, sis. Go get him. We would love to read the letter. All right, well, I'll send that. I'll send her. I don't think she'll mind. I'll send what she wrote to you guys, all right? I'll send you a draft if you like. I knew you'd say that to you. Well, this way we get more done more quick so we can help others. You see what I'm saying? If we all, whatever request you have that you want the program to do for you, then that becomes your task. That becomes your selfless service for the program. It's that simple, right? If you want it for the program, then you become the steward of that particular thing. Now we're cracking it. That divine love whip on your skull, ecstasy whip. Now, of course, Lord, I'll do this for you. And you get that hit of joy, you get that hit of Shakti. All right, verse 2. Sanjaya said, it starts by that, Sanjaya. So you're impartial. Remember the impartial introspection of you as the ideal devotee, Arjuna. As the ideal devotee, that you have this awareness that you are watching, witnessing impartially both sides of the campaign. And you become this Sanjaya, this wise, intuitive, like a crystal ball. I gotta look into my crystal ball of introspection right now. I'm gonna call on Sanjaya. I like to think it's a bliss watcher. My soul is my soul. It's my soul too. It's my soul. All right. Sanjaya said, then King Duryodhana. Now, Duryodhana is the reigning king, because the blind king doesn't reign the bodily kingdom. His son, his first son, Duryodhana, who represents king material desire. So in this introspection of this second verse, the introspection says to you and me that the first one to speak up after we just got the papers, so to speak, we got our mission possible from our soul to be introspecting on a daily basis, on a moment to moment, nightly, daily, all the time basis. Then look who jumps into the picture. The king material desire. Right away. Sanjaya says, introspection says, the first thing that happens is that lust that we have inside of us, that material desire within us, spoke. Then King Duryodhana, after having seen the armies of the Pandavas, the soul qualities, in battle array, so at king material desire, that sense perpetrator, to go after the material pleasures, the material restless cravings, all that stuff. After having seen that you have some soul soldiers, you have some meditations now daily under your belt, you have some self-control, you're watching, you're witnessing, you are holding back here, you are doing better there, right? Woo! King material desire sees that, and then he turned to his preceptor called Drona, and spoke as follows. Wait till the movies come out on the Bhagavad Gita. Wait till we get video games on this. I'm telling you, baby. We can create our own. We can start to visualize this game because we are in the thick of it right now in the Bhagavad Gita study. So that's the first verse. He starts talking in the third verse and on. But right now, he just turned to Drona. So the king material desire turns instantly to Drona. All right, now you're going to understand who Drona is. Sanjaya, and this is Yogananda's in commentary, the impartial introspection of Arjuna the devotee revealed. After beholding the armies of the Pandavas, the discriminative qualities in array for psychological battle, ready to fight the sense tendencies, King Duryodhana, material desire, royal offspring of the blind sense mind. He's royalty. He's royalty. He's the first offspring of the blind, ignorant, sense attached mind. Conferred solicitously with his preceptor Drona, which represents this word samskara. Samskara. You're going to get to know samskara. What is samskara? Here it is. The impressions left by past thoughts and actions which create a strong inner urge for repetition. And usually these samskaras are for the outward bound urges of all those addictions that we have. It is the impressions left by past thoughts and actions which create a strong inner urge for repetition. Do you ever have those strong inner urges for repetition? $1 million question. Do you ever have those strong inner urges for a repetition of a habit? Of course we do. All right. So the blind king Dhritarashtra had 100 sons, however, Duryodhana being the first or eldest. Because his father was blind, Duryodhana ruled in his stead and was thus recognized as a Raja or king. The metaphorical analysis is that the 100 offspring of the blind sense mind, King Dhritarashtra, consists of the 5 instruments of perception. The 5 sense instruments. These are the 5 sense and the 10 sense states that we went over. We looked at them in depth as we were combing through this first, I think was that in the introduction or was that in this first verse? I don't remember. So you have it consists of those hundred offspring of the blind sense mind, consists of 5 sense instruments of perception, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, and the 5 sense instruments of action, speech, manual ability, locomotion, procreation, and excretion. Remember, we spent a little while on procreation. Each of which has 10 propensities. Altogether, these make 100 sense inclinations, or offsprings born of the sense mind. The eldest, Duryodhana, represents material desire. The firstborn, that which wields power over all the other sense inclinations of the bodily kingdom. Material desire. He is there. He is one who is well known for evil wars or causes. The metaphorical derivation of Duryodhana is one who is hard to be countered in any way. That's what that word means in Sanskrit. His very name comes from the Sanskrit dur, difficult, and yud, to fight. Difficult to fight. Material desire is extremely powerful, for it is the king and leader of all worldly enjoyments. Can you imagine this character in our video game? The one who is the king, the leader, the perpetrator of all worldly enjoyments? Ooh, let Hollywood get a hold of that character. I wonder who will play that character. Really? King Material Desire, the one who is the leader? And you think mafia leaders are badass, man. No, this guy is the leader of all worldly enjoyments and is the cause and perpetrator of the battle against the soul's rightful claim to the bodily kingdom. That's why it's the first one in the second verse, to turn to what? Habits. Not the good habits. Turn to the habits. He wanted to make an alliance right away with those past tendencies and habits that have ruled the roost, that is ruling the kingdom right now. He wanted to align to them right away. Smart guy. Smart guy. Verse 2. We didn't even hear what he said yet. He just turned to Drona. He just turned to Drona solicitously because he needs his help. He knows that, oh my gosh, these soul soldiers may be serious here. In fact, I have a feeling they are serious here. They want to reclaim their kingdom back. They want their happiness back. So he turns right away to that one that he knows is going to give him some, maybe a few nights worth of sleep. And that is all of yours and mine past negative qualities, sense tendencies. Where are we? Well, wow, what a story is building here, my dears. What a story is building here. We will pick up there next week. Woo! What do you think of these apples now? What do you think of this? Final comments. Yeah, we can work on some of those affirmations tomorrow night. Good thinking, Clark. Of course we can. We can work on them anytime you want to. We can do all of this together, kids, because this is our royal path. This is our royal highway to the infinite. Yes, we can. So, final comments. How did that sound? What are you all feeling for this next verse, huh? Unbelievable what's coming up. Unbelievable. This study is our 8 steps. This is an everlasting journey of study. You see that, don't you? There is no like we're 6 weeks on and 6 weeks off, or you're gonna. Yes, you can probably organize this to level 1, level 2. Of course, we probably need to do that. We need to break it down so it's more mainstream, right? And all that. Of course. But listen, for now, you're getting the whole, you're getting the raw. You're getting the raw, unfiltered, unedited edition of Gita study, right? This is epic. Love to all of you and can't get enough Gita. Bring on verse 2. So grateful. Keep it simple, as they say in AA. I know. Keep it simple. It's so simple, right? All you know is that material desire, craving within you, will turn to your habits and moods when you sit down to meditate. It's the same thing. You sit down to meditate, you know, in the beginning and maybe for a long, long time. And you're trying to develop the habit of meditation. And what? Man, what am I? Then you start thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, right? Then you start thinking, oh man, you know, there's this chore that I could be doing right now. Right? And then you start, that's Drona. That's Drona. That's Drona and Durodhana, King Material Desire, all connected up to sabotage your efforts at meditation. So you're thinking about something you should be doing. And then those are just kind of innocent things, you know. But then, you know, if you say you're going to stop drinking, then all of a sudden your mind goes to, wow, really, how great that feeling was that when you started just take that first drink and you were so happy because you knew you were going to feel better and better, right? It won't tell you, it won't go to your hangover. It won't go to how depressed you feel and how out of touch and how in ruins your life is becoming. It won't go there, but it will certainly go to that place where you will recognize, oh, wow. And then there you are in your meditation, battling that temptation. Hang in there, soul rebels. I know you will. Much love and light to you. This is Tiom signing off from this beautiful part of this dream illusory planet called Encinitas, California. I love you all very much. And hasta la vista, baby. That was too fast. Love to all. I know. Well, now it's really getting to be a video game, my friend. And I couldn't think of a better game to play than this game of waking up with all of you. And Catherine, yay, Catherine. I hope you caught some of this, Catherine. We love you so very much. And we miss you so very much. And we love you so very much, okay? All right. And so shall it be. And from joy we have come, in joy we live, and in sacred joy we melt again. Hallelujah, brother and sister. Love to all. We'll see you very, very soon. Change the illusion from within. Sacred responsibility to determine individual and collective where we go. Woo! Change the illusion from within. Joel, you're on a tear out there. You are on a tear, Mother Bear Joel. Not a girl. And Brookie, you are on a tear. Lisa, you're on a tear. Jamie Boy, Amy, Catherine, everyone else who might listen to this later, thank you, thank you, thank you. We, as soul rebels, are on a tear. Whew, don't mess with us. Here we come. Lord Krishna, victory. Where there is Krishna, there is victory.